On this side of the border, voters in the Alberta riding of Brooks-Medicine Hat are also going to the polls. Candidates in the by-election include newly minted Alberta Premier Danielle Smith, who is trying to get a seat in the legislature. The CBC's Aaron Collins joins us now live from Calgary. So, Aaron, how is the race shaping up?
Arthi, it's really shaping up to be quite intriguing, more so than you would think with the average by-election, and not just because Danielle Smith, the Premier of the province, is looking to find her way back into the legislature, but also because Smith's not really from this area of Brooks-Medicine Hat in the southeastern part of the province, and she's sort of, parachuting in, and she's facing off against a couple very strong local candidates. The former mayor of Brooks, Barry Morishita, is running for the Alberta Party, and the Alberta NDP are running a strong local candidate by the name of Gwendolyn Dirk as well. So it's shaping up to be a closer race, perhaps, than often would be seen in this part of Alberta, which is very, very conservative. So Smith's certainly the front runner here. Often conservative candidates would get 70% of the vote in this area. So it's interesting for that, and it's also interesting because this is the first time that the Premier, Danielle Smith, has sort of taken the message that won her the UCP leadership to the broader electorate and seen sort of how that message resonates with voters more writ large across the spectrum in the province. So interesting to watch because Smith's not really from here, and interesting to watch and see how her message will resonate with average Albertans.
So now, if Danielle Smith wins this by-election, what does the road ahead look like for her leading to the Alberta general election in May?
It's a great question. It's a question on most people's mind, and I think a lot of the answer is going to come with sort of, if she does win, what kind of margins does she win by? I think that's going to tell us a lot about how her message is going to be received sort of more broadly across Alberta. So I mentioned earlier that about 70% of voters in this part of the province generally vote Conservative. So if that number kind of dips down below, 60% or even into the low 50s, then that may, not bode well for a general election that's looming in the spring. And, Premier Smith, who's heading into the fourth sitting of the legislature at the end of the month, is going to be pushing her Sovereignty Act, which is, controversial for many folks in the province. It basically says that the legislature would be allowed to ignore any federal law that it felt sort of infringed on provincial jurisdiction. So, you can see this as a bit of a litmus test of how the province in general will be, sort of receiving some of Smith's more controversial ideas. So I think if she gets into the legislature, how much she wins by will certainly determine how much of a mandate she has to push through some of her more, extreme positions.
Thanks for the latest on this, Aaron. That is the CBC's Aaron Collins in Calgary.